Hi, I'm Eric.
And I'm Dick. We are the Annuity guys.
Problems with ethics. It's what are we going to talk, when we say about unethical advisors?
Well, Eric, in Illinois, you and I have to go to an ethics class every couple of years.
Only once every 2 years. So.
And it's only 3 hours.
Yeah.
But it is interesting.
Yeah.
When you start talking about ethics and ethical advisors, one of the things that you discover is it's not really that easy to identify.
Yeah. It's kind of a gray area.
Yes.
But yet everybody wants you to have ethics, right? So, we like to think, and it's basically it becomes inherent whether you have it or don't. I think is really what the end part is.
Right.
But how do we identify these unethical advisors? And so we've kind of come up with our own list to kind of the telltale signs of what these advisors might look like. So, and I guess I'll just jump in and say, the one thing that I tend to see, especially in the annuity world, is the half-truth, the misrepresentation, and it's usually what I usually get a call about because someone will say, hey, tell me about this 8% guarantee. And this gets back to the, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Right.
And really they're only telling you half of the story. It's not, the 8% number always seems to be the growth number.
Right.
Well, it's the guarantee number for future income. When you multiply it times a payout percentage, which, but they don't go into that full detail. They just tell you there's an 8% guarantee.
Exactly. So this is where it becomes kind of bait and switch. It's used in advertising. And there's really just no place for this in the financial world, in financial planning. When you're working with someone's retirement, their future, full disclosure is the only way that folks should approach it or want to have a planner, interact with them. Complete full disclosure, complete transparency. Here's the way this works. It may be for you. It may not be for you. Right.
And I think that really gets to the type of advisor who's kind of that second type, which is someone who really focuses in on just the product, or sometimes it's even just one product.
Yes.
They're not looking at you and what your needs are.
Right.
But they're saying, hey, I have the perfect solution for you.
Well, and what happens is their focus, instead of, like you say, being on the needs or the objectives and the planning, it's really just about the product. And, that's, again, it's hard to identify because a lot of times folks want to talk about product, but you have to understand that there's 10,000 different annuities.
Yeah, but you want the perfect one for you, don't you?
So you've got this one, and usually that accompanies having to make a faster decision because the rates are about to change on this one. And if we can get this on the application today, or in the next 2 days,
irregardless of the situation, and then that becomes kind of that next aspect of, well, if you already own some of these products, you own a couple other annuities and you really like them, and the first thing they said, well, we need to get rid of those. Or
you're getting into churning now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, wasn't that a good idea when you bought it? And that really gets back to the planning aspect. If you bought them with a purpose, it's understanding what that purpose was, and then you won't be misled into kind of selling out a product that might either be better than what you're being offered, or just not understanding why. And a lot of times these advisors will churn. They'll try to sell a new product just because that's how they get compensated.
Exactly. You get a commission by selling another annuity. And, this kind of ties in, overlaps with getting too much money in annuities or any investment product for that matter. That there's usually some point where you've got a balanced portfolio. I mean, the goal really is balancing your overall portfolio.
Yeah, and once you've got the balanced plan, and it really gets back to kind of then identifying the targets. So once you know where your targets are, then it's easy to help make those selections. Now, one of the things that's also kind of a red flag for a lot of different aspects is kind of and I call it the law of reciprocity. People want to give you not give you, but they're offering you oftentimes a free dinner or a free lunch in exchange for, if you just give me $500,000 so that I can invest it for you, or
just come in for an appointment. Just pay me back with an appointment. But when you get to that appointment, it's about, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, I've helped you, you help me. And there can be a legitimacy to that in the sense of someone who's looking out for your best interest, and you feel that reciprocity.
Right.
However, it can be a red flag.
Right. I mean, it's a learning experience, and that's
Yes.
what it should be. And if you approach those seminars or sessions as being an opportunity to learn and be educated, that's great. Now, just understand a lot of those other pieces, the half-truths, the misrepresentations. A lot of times we see them come out of a dinner seminar type session because it's too short. It's really trying to get you exposed to the greatest parts of all these products without telling you the worst parts.
Exactly.
And so you have to understand that there's usually pieces out there that you haven't gotten fully exposed to yet.
One thing, Eric, that is really more of just a kind of in-your-face wrong thing to do is rebating, giving back money, kind of like, oh, I'll give you back some of this, or I'll give you this huge gift, that is like giving you back some of your.
Once we've got your business taken care of, you won't have to worry about taking care of it.
Right. Yeah. And that's really forbidden, in
it's against the rules.
All aspects of financial planning and just helping someone, with their portfolio.
Right.
So, I think there's some telltale signs that we should probably hit. Which should be somewhat obvious of what you should expect out of a good advisor.
So the ethical guy, what he does.
Exactly.
So it's really and I think we've talked about this and kind of alluded to it.
Yes,
it's really focusing on you. It's focusing on your needs, your goals, your plan.
Right.
And not necessarily the product. So someone who has your best interest in mind.
Right.
Which is really kind of a fiduciary standard.
Exactly.
So it's if you have somebody that really is going at it from trying to find out about your goals, your needs, and working with you on a professional level, that's really what you want.
And you're not going to feel pressure. No. You should never feel pressure. You should have all the time in the world to make your decision. This is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in your lifetime. Yeah. So you have to be comfortable, you have to be informed, and you make that decision when you're ready.
And one of the aspects of that planning process is you let the plan dictate what goes into it. We always say you want to use the least amount of annuities in your design because of the limited surrenders and those pieces. Well, guess what? That may be true of the other aspects and the other pieces of the portfolio as well. It's using a goal and a plan to help dictate the possible solutions and which products are going to be used to achieve those goals.
Exactly.
So don't go in with a preconceived, you're here today. Here's the cookie cutter. Boom. There's your portfolio, and now you solve your retirement problem.
Exactly. That one best annuity, that one best plan. Folks need many options, many choices. They need to look at different planning aspects that all have a high probability of success to decide what they're most comfortable with, and that's what we call outcome-based planning.
Right.
And I think that the outcome of what we're talking about is a balanced portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of times what's the best way to find that person to work with? And that's usually looking for somebody that comes referred to you. And let's be honest, if someone steals $100,000 from you, you're not going to refer them to your friend and say, hey, this guy only took $100,000 from me.
Right.
You want to look for somebody that's done well with other people that they've worked with. And that's the kind of the best way and the best endorsement. People that are in similar circumstances that are willing to refer somebody that they work with because they know they've done a good job.
Yes, work with someone who's referred or recommended, highly recommended.